Coming up on this edition of ATV News.
We'll have the latest results from your voting yesterday.
Today is election day.
We'll show you how these students watched election results roll in.
I've never seen this design before. It's pretty unique.
We'll tell you what's different about this roundabout.
We saw the season's first snow on Sunday, but will we see more soon? I'll show you in weather.
I'll show you if the Aggies kept their at-home winning streaks in soccer and volleyball. All that and more, this is ATV News.
From the campus of Utah State University in Logan, Utah, the Department of Journalism and Communication presents the award-winning newscast, ATV News.
It's our chance as Americans, as citizens, to express our desires for who's going to represent us.
We'll give you the results these students were waiting for. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Cadence Mitchell.
And I'm Kesley Kincaid. Election results have been finalized in some states, while other states are still counting. Joining us live from the newsroom is JT Miller to tell us more about the results for national, state, and local elections.
Thanks, Kesley. And here are the results you've been waiting for. The next president of the United States is Donald Trump. President-elect Donald Trump won the election with 276 electoral votes, while Kamala Harris took 223 votes. Now, that was when the Associated Press called the election. If you follow me over here to this monitor, you can see the updated presidential results. Donald Trump currently has 295 electoral votes, while Harris has 226. Now, going to the state of Utah, Utah's U.S. Senator John Curtis was re-elected with 62.8% of the votes. Republican Blake Moore is projected to win the House District 1 with 63.2% of the votes. Going to the state government, Spencer Cox is predicted to be re-elected for governor with 56.1% of the votes right now. Derek Brown is predicted to win attorney general with 58.5% of the votes. Tina Cannon was elected as state auditor with 63.2% of the votes. Marlo M. Oaks was re-elected as state treasurer with 64.30% of the votes. Utah Senate District 2 incumbent Chris Wilson was re-elected with 70.11% of the votes. For the State House District, Thomas Peterson was re-elected with 82.1% of the votes. Michael J. Peterson was re-elected with 82.1% of the votes. Jason E. Thompson won with 55.23% of the votes. And Casey Snyder was re-elected with 100% of the votes. Going to the county elections, Keegan Garrity, Barbara Yost Tidwell, David Erickson, and Nolan P. Gunnell were all elected for the Cache County Council. For county clerk, Bryson J. Bem won with 77.96%. The next four ran unopposed. Tennille Johnson won county recorder, and Craig McAllister won county treasurer. Kay Taylor Sorensen won Cache County attorney, and Matthew C. Funk won with Cache County auditor. This morning, I went out to see what students thought about the election. Here's what some of them had to say.
Unbelievable.
I don't think the results of the election will determine the end of the world, at least at this point.
I think everyone expected it to go completely differently than it did.
I thought initially that Kamala was going to get a lot of the states, and then when I was looking at the scores, it was mostly Trump's.
I was just surprised the results came so fast. Honestly, I thought I was going to wait weeks.
I just hope that the housing market gets better so that I can afford a house in the next couple of years.
Reporting live in the newsroom, JT Miller. Back to you at the desk, Kesley.
Thanks, JT.
The only public watch party in Logan was at Utah State's campus. Last night, professors put together a watch party for both Republican and Democratic students, with the majority being Democratic.
The goal of this event was to bring students from Utah State together regardless of their political affiliation.
Students watched the results come in for each state, but there was a little reaction because while students were there, no swing states were called.
You know, this is going to be won in the margins, which is exciting as a voter, I think, because that means your vote maybe counts more than you think.
Monson says this is a historical election for many reasons. One being that one candidate started campaigning just a few months ago and has changed America's view on campaigning. The event ended at 10 p.m. and students said they will watch the rest at home.
Voters in Cache Valley went to the fairgrounds to cast their votes. The line went out the door and wrapped along the street for voters to get inside and wait in more lines to cast their vote despite the cold and some snow outside. Poll workers say the amount of voters exceeded expectations and were happy to see the turnout.
We're proud to be a part of a community that, is really engaged in the civic process.
Poll workers say they worked to shuffle everyone in to get them out of the cold and indoors.
Over 20 House representatives attended the USU versus Nevada volleyball game. Utah State Volleyball and Nevada Volleyball forfeited games against San Jose State earlier in the season because there's a transgender player on their team. Fans and Utah House representatives showed up to this week's game in support.
We want anyone who is in support of the cause of fairness in women's sports that they can show their support tonight of these players.
Birkeland said that they were in support of both Nevada and Utah State for their decisions. 100 t-shirts were given to fans that had boycott written on them.
If you have thoughts or concerns about the university's Title IX office, a team from the Department of Justice is on campus to hear from you. To understand why, let's take a look at the past. The DOJ says, in 2015, the university failed to investigate 3 separate reports from women saying that former USU football player Tori Green raped them. After a report from the Salt Lake Tribune brought the issue to the public's attention in 2016, the university began an internal investigation, and in 2017, the Department of Justice began an investigation. The investigations both found the university had not met legal standards in addressing sexual harassment and assault. In February 2020, the DOJ and university signed a settlement agreement saying the university would work to improve their Title IX department with supervision and support from the DOJ. USU's Title IX office says since then they've worked to implement sweeping changes, including mandatory trainings for students, staff, and faculty, publishing annual reports outlining the office's efforts and increasing their staff from 3 to 18 people. In August of this year, the DOJ sent a notice of non-compliance to the university, saying 4.5 years after our initial notice to the university of our findings regarding the football program, there continues to be alarming evidence of pervasive sexual hostile culture and climate within the football program, and outlined 2 cases where the university had again failed to meet legal standards addressing sexual harassment and assault. This week at the Eccles Conference Center, the DOJ is hosting in-person office hours as part of a continued effort from the DOJ and the university. The USU Title IX office says they welcome and appreciate the DOJ on campus.
They've been great colleagues with us, they've been helpful collaborators, and they've made us all a lot better at our job. And ultimately, they want what is best for USU, and we want what's best for USU.
From 4 to 7 p.m. Wednesday, 2 to 8 p.m. Thursday, and 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday, DOJ officers will be on the second floor of the Eccles Conference Center. If you can't attend during the office hours, you can email the DOJ at community.usu@usdoj.gov to schedule a virtual meeting. Joining us at the desk is Jackson Day with ATV Weather. Jackson, how has the weather been out there?
Yeah, as you guys know, we saw the first snow of the season Sunday, and coming up in weather, I'll show you if we should expect more. As you can see, we're seeing green leaves, orange leaves, yet snow on the ground. The current temperature in Logan is 39 degrees.
And coming up, we have Henry Silva in studio with us to tell us about his time as Mr. USU.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
The sun peeked through the clouds yesterday as the sky seemed to flirt with the idea of possibly snowing. We saw a few flurries, which seemed to surprise some flowers and the trees around campus, many of which still had green leaves. But ultimately, there's only a skiff of snow on the ground. In what seems to be as much of a tradition as True Aggie Night, people made snowmen after the first snow Sunday. But at this point, you really only see remains of most of them. Now the question is, will we see more snow? Let's take a look at our national radar. Looking first at the national radar, in Utah, we won't be seeing too much for the next couple days. Storms that are currently in Colorado will be moving our direction, and at the start of next week, we'll begin to see some snow, some rain coming back. But on the southern side of the country, our southern side part of the country, we are seeing storms, specifically a hurricane that just a couple hours ago hit Cuba. In the coming days, it's unclear exactly where this hurricane will go. Currently, it's a Category 3, but it's expected that it will move into the Gulf of Mexico, possibly hitting the coast of Texas. But by the time it gets there, it'll probably only be a tropical storm, maybe a Category 1 hurricane. With that, we'll take a look at the state radar. In Utah, like I said, we have these storms over here moving in from Colorado, and as of the moment, we won't see too much of it. But coming up next week, we'll start to see more rain, more sun. We'll look at that more in depth in the 7th-day forecast. As of the moment, for the next couple days, we'll see warm temperatures during the day, cold temperatures at night, mostly sunny. Tonight, it'll start to get a little cloudy, probably a little foggy until about 9 a.m. tomorrow. Then from there, it'll be sunny. Moving into the weekend and Veterans Day weekend, however, we'll see rain during the day when we have higher temperatures and snow at night when the temperatures start to drop. Because of this, it can lead to very icy conditions. So if you have to go out this weekend and the beginning of next week, please be careful. With that, you're all caught up on ATV weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jackson. Cache Valley community members gathered at the Bear River Massacre Monument just north of Preston, Idaho. The day started with volunteers gathering to learn the history of the site. They would be planting and listening to a blessing given by their tribe's spiritual leader. After the blessing, people broke into 3 groups and were given further instruction.
This is a really important site for the tribe and for all of us, I think, who live in this ecosystem. This is the headwaters for much of the water that flows to the Great Salt Lake.
The tribe has plans to return the river to its natural route and build a visitor center in the area. The center will hold a memorial every January 29th, which is the day that the massacre happened in 1836. Kaylee Moss sat down with Mr. USU to learn more about his position.
Joining us in studio is Henry Silva, Mr. USU 2024, and he was crowned during homecoming week on October 8th, so just a month ago. We are so excited to be speaking with him today. So, Henry, why did you choose to compete for Mr. USU?
I decided to compete just to get money to pay for my tuition, but I figured out that they don't give any money for as a prize. So I just figured out 2 weeks before that was just like for the experience and for the exposure. And I was like, I was already on this, so let's try it.
Let's try it. I love it. Well, I love that you still went through. So obviously you guys compete in talent, on-stage question, formal wear, and then you also do the big group dance. What was your favorite part of competition?
My favorite part was the question because they asked what was my karaoke anthem, and I could not choose another song besides Bring Me to Life by Evanescence because they are a rock band from the 2000s, and I started learning English through them. I got their lyrics, I had no idea what they're talking about, so I started to research, and I kept a notebook with all the lyrics in English and Portuguese, English-Portuguese. And that's how I got to learn English, come to school, have my influence towards music as well.
Awesome. So obviously at USU, what are you studying here?
Well, I'm studying music therapy, with a major in music therapy with a minor in psychology and entrepreneurship, and I'm loving it. It's a really daunting process. It's a beautiful Korean program, but requires a lot of work.
Okay. And how has being Mr. USU kind of changed your experience at the university?
It changed for the terms of responsibility because I feel I have more responsibility towards us to be an example for other people because there was expectation. When you're being highlighted, people create expectation about how you're going to serve them or how you're going to interact with them. So I feel this changed a lot to me. And also have the opportunity like to be invited for interviews, share my experience, and also I can highlight a little bit more about music therapy and about my history because being an international student here is being really difficult. It's been hard to pay for tuition and everything. So more people knows them and just like, no, the guy that dance good or that look good. Is a guy that is trying to thrive and have a degree in music therapy and have his struggle and is a human as any other people.
Well, Henry, we cannot thank you enough for joining us in studio today. I cannot wait to watch the rest of your time unfold here at Utah State and the rest of your time as Mr. USU as well. And back to you at the desk, Kesley.
Thanks, Kaylee. Joining us at the desk is Kelly Winter with ATV Sports.
I know Henry said the question portion was his favorite, but personally mine was the talents.
And some of those talents definitely show some athleticism.
I mean, speaking of athleticism, our women's teams were killing it this last week. Coming up in sports, 9 different Aggies had shots on goal this game. I'll show you which ones found the net.
This December will be Midwinter Traditions.
Need an activity for the whole family? We will show you one here on campus coming up.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. To motivate some magic, to change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. Book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
when you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
In soccer, 9 different Aggies had shots on goal this game, with none of them taking more than 2 shots. Hi, welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Kelly Winter. Headed back to soccer, the Aggies wrapped up regular season play with a Halloween night senior night with the Broncos. The Aggies scored in the first half with this corner short by Ryan Johanna to Kylie Olsen with a cross that found midfielder Alex Day for a header into the net. In the second half, Aggie Austin Miller took a shot off the corner kick, which was deflected, but Aggie freshman forward Ellie Hendricks cleaned it up for another goal. The final score, USU 2, BSU 0. This win marks the second time the Aggies have gone undefeated at home, the last being in 2011. This is the 4th straight Mountain West tournament qualification for the Aggies and its 2nd straight year earning that 2nd seed. Women's basketball opened their season at the Spectrum against the Kansas City Roos, though I don't know why a Missouri team would have a kangaroo as a mascot. Aggie Cheyenne Stubbs opened the game with this spinning drive for a layup, but this layup from the guard Amani Bennett and this basket from forward Kyra Ponder put the Roos in the lead they held onto. Stubbs passes to Grace Johnson for this three-pointer. The Aggies stuck tight to the Roos but were not able to overtake them. In the second half, the Aggies were just 3 points behind the Roos after this three-pointer from Stubbs and this three-pointer from freshman guard Danae Skelton. This was one of the multiple times the Aggies came within just points of the Roos. Another 3 from Skelton, who scored 9 points this game, all of which were threes. Another 3 from junior guard Mia Traver put the Aggies ahead of the Roos with just 7 minutes remaining. But baskets like this 3 from Roos Alana Contreras tied the game with just 3 minutes remaining. Kansas City guard Tamia August put the last layup in the last 21 seconds of the game, cinches the victory for the Roos. The final score, Kansas City 80, Utah State 77. Women's basketball plays CSUN on Friday at home. USU women's volleyball beat Boise State last Thursday 3-1. The team had a 4-8 record, one of those losses being their forfeit against San Jose State for conference play, and are ranked 4th. Men's basketball is back at the Spectrum with the men's team playing Alcorn State tonight at 6 p.m. It was the second round of playoffs for high school football, and Skyview played Mountain Crest. Mountain Crest was in the lead at the start of the game with this pass from quarterback Brady Muir to tight end Kai Passy, which set them up for a 2-yard run by Passy for a touchdown. After the kick, this put Mountain Crest up 14 points to Skyview's to 0. Skyview quarterback Jack Clark floated this pass to running back Xander Stokes, who was tackled just before the end zone. He had 58 total receiving yards this game. With the handoff from Clark, Stokes then ran 2 yards for a touchdown. Stokes had 10 carries this game. The last second of the quarter, Mustang quarterback Muir threw a deep pass to wide receiver Kale Olsen, but the ball was stripped coming down by defensive back Andrew Oxborough. After several attempts, the Bobcats found the end zone again with this pass from Clark to wide receiver Liam Guthrie. This tied the game up 14-14. At the start of the third quarter, things started to fall apart for the Mustangs against the Bobcat defense. This fumble was scooped up by Skyview linebacker Malcolm Young. In the fourth quarter now, Clark throws a 48-yard pass to Cooper Karen, who runs it the rest of the way for another Bobcat touchdown. Clark had 76% completion rate this game. With 1:30 left in the game, Clark throws a 29-yard pass to Liam Guthrie for another Skyview touchdown. And this 20-yard pass from Clark to Guthrie is the last score of the game. The final score, Skyview 38, Mountain Crest 14. With that win, Skyview advances to play number 2 Provo in the quarterfinals on Friday. You're all caught up in sports. Back to you at the desk, Kesley.
Thanks, Kelly. The newly constructed roundabout by the cemetery has a different design than your typical roundabout. The new roundabout at 1200 East is designed to accommodate the distance between the east and west legs of East 1000 North. Logan Public Works Department says the previous intersection had a lot of safety concerns with limited pedestrian crossing. The new design lets pedestrians cross at different spots without disrupting the flow of traffic. The Public Works Director says he thinks the roundabout turned out great, while students at USU agree.
It makes it a lot easier to go to and from school and classes and work.
Reminds me of a racetrack.
I think a racetrack is probably the best way to describe it, but it is fun to drive through it.
I
Probably spend about 30 minutes just whipping around it just for fun at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
I've never seen like the figure 8 style roundabout before, but I really like it.
I'm definitely happy with how it turned out.
I like it. I've never seen this design before. It's pretty unique.
The Public Works Department says the roundabout is part of Phase 1 in a regional transportation plan.
The Museum of Anthropology has started their Family First Saturday event. Saturday's event was a beading exhibit from around the world. Families and kids of all ages came to the Anthropology Museum. Families could walk through the exhibit and rotate through tables to make different types of beads, bracelets, and keychains.
This is our Family First Saturday event. Every first Saturday of the month, families come down to the museum to do activities. We do different topics each month. So this topic for this month is beading. So they learned how to do, how to make beads, what beads are made out of, how to make friendship bracelets.
Family First Saturday events will continue through the end of May every first Saturday of the month. The museum will highlight something from the Anthropology Department. Every activity will be for all ages. The Anthropology Museum is located in room 252 of Old Main right here on campus.
Thanks for watching this edition of ATV News.
You can watch this and other editions on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with another look at volunteers planting trees.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
The surplus store. Someone's trash is about to be my treasure. We have cords and cables here. We have bags full of towels and sheets. Do you want this fold-up mattress? Because we don't. We got keyboards, paint cans, whatever this is, typewriters, computer monitors. It's destiny on the line. and we want you at surplus.
Products are not guaranteed to work. All sales are final. This commercial is not endorsed by Utah State.